In the year 2187, Earth had grown proud. The planet, once divided by petty wars and endless disagreements, now stood united under the banner of the United Terran Coalition. Humanity had reached far beyond the moon, had colonies on Mars, and mining stations on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Earth's cities gleamed with lights and energy fields, and its space fleets were stronger than ever before. People celebrated their achievements, and the leaders of Earth felt certain nothing could threaten humanity. Yet, far beyond the known stars, something stirred. For decades, the galactic summits had sent invitations to Earth. They were councils of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, governing trade, peace, and exploration. Their letters, signals, and emissaries had arrived, politely requesting that Earth join the council and follow interstellar law. Earth had ignored them. The council's warnings were clear. Isolation and arrogance could bring danger, but Earth's leaders believed their military and technological power could protect them from anything. Most dismissed the summit's messages as irrelevant. "Why should we answer these messages?" Earth's Secretary of Defense had said in one meeting. "We have the strongest fleet in this quadrant. Other civilizations are not a threat." The general population agreed, and so the warnings went unheeded. But not everyone was convinced. Commander Ilara Vance, head of the United Terran Fleet's Reconnaissance Division, had watched the stars closely for years. She had spent decades charting unknown objects, studying anomalies, and monitoring signals that slipped past ordinary detection. Something in the distant void had changed, and she noticed the pattern before anyone else did. It began with strange energy readings near the Kuiper Belt. Tiny blips, almost invisible to the naked sensors, appeared and disappeared in rapid succession. The readings did not match any known asteroid or comet. They moved too fast, changed direction too suddenly, and seemed to vanish when approached. "Ilara, these are nothing," said Admiral Kessler during a briefing. "Probably just space debris. Nothing to worry about." But Ilara could not ignore the signals. She had learned to trust her instincts over politics and public opinion. She spent long hours analyzing the blips, plotting their trajectories. "They are not debris," she said quietly to herself. "Something is moving in ways no natural object could. Something intelligent." Her suspicions were soon confirmed when similar signals appeared near Jupiter's orbit. Cloaked objects, invisible to standard scanners, were detected in clusters. The patterns suggested deliberate formation, almost as if the objects were observing or mapping the solar system. She brought her findings to the United Terran Council. "Admiral Kessler, the signals are growing stronger," she explained. "They are forming a fleet. I do not know who or what it is, but they are coming." "Commander, we have more important priorities," the Council responded. "Earth's colonies need protection. Trade routes must remain open. This is likely just a mistake in your calculations. Focus on internal matters." Ilara left the Council meeting frustrated but determined. She sent her reconnaissance ships deeper into the solar system, beyond Pluto and the Oort cloud, to monitor the mysterious presence. Days passed. The signals grew stronger. Movement was now detected near Neptune, strange energy fluctuations that could only come from advanced technology. Ilara's heart pounded as the realization hit her. Whatever this was, it was massive, and it was heading for Earth. Meanwhile, life on Earth continued as normal. In the cities, people walked streets filled with neon lights and floating vehicles. On the news, officials spoke of peaceful growth, interplanetary trade, and human achievements. Few knew the danger approaching their home. The United Terran Fleet conducted routine patrols, unaware of the silent storm gathering in the shadows of the solar system. Ilara's team continued monitoring. The blips began to combine, forming larger structures. By now, the reconnaissance sensors could detect shapes. Vast, elongated vessels moving in perfect formation. The fleet seemed to stretch for hundreds of kilometers. invisible until it chose to reveal itself. "Ilara," said Lieutenant Merrick, one of her aides. "These readings, they are huge. The fleet is enormous. Thousands of ships, I think." Ilara felt a chill. "We must warn Earth immediately. We cannot wait any longer." She sent a detailed report to the Council, including diagrams, trajectories, and possible scenarios. She pleaded for an immediate defensive response. The response from the Council was delayed. Many leaders still refused to believe the warnings. "Commander Vance, your report is noted. Continue monitoring," read the official message. "There is no need for alarm." Ilara clenched her fists. Humanity's pride, their refusal to heed warnings, could be their downfall. She decided to act. She began preparing a small strike team ready to confront the unknown when the fleet appeared. Even if Earth's leaders ignored her, she would ensure humanity was not caught completely unprepared. Weeks passed. The mysterious fleet grew larger with every passing day. Sensors now detected thousands of vessels, sleek and dark, each one bristling with unknown weaponry and energy systems. They moved in silence, emerging from the blackness of interstellar space. Ilara studied the fleet's formation. It was unlike anything human fleets had ever seen. It was coordinated, precise, and adaptive. No human pilot could maneuver so perfectly. She realized with awe and fear, these were not simple invaders. They were organized, intelligent, and powerful. "Commander," Lieutenant Merrick said one night, staring at the screens, "if this fleet attacks Earth, we will not survive with conventional weapons. Not even half our fleet could stand against them." Ilara nodded. "Then we must find another way. Humans are clever. We adapt. We survive. And we will do that now, before it's too late." As Earth slept unaware, the first dark outlines of the Armada crossed the orbit of Saturn. They were massive, their surfaces smooth and metallic, reflecting no sunlight. For weeks, they had been hidden by advanced cloaking technology. Now they were visible in the deep black, stretching across the solar system like a silent shadow. Ilara called in all reconnaissance teams. "Track every vessel. Map every trajectory. Prepare for first contact. And alert Earth. This is not a drill." In response, the Council held another meeting. "Commander Vance, are you certain these vessels are hostile?" one minister asked. "I don't know yet," she admitted. "But they are coming. Thousands of ships. Their technology is far beyond ours, and they are prepared for war if needed." Some leaders still hesitated. They feared panic, fear, and chaos if the public learned the truth. But Ilara could not wait for permission. Humanity needed to know, and she needed her fleet ready. The first minor encounter occurred near Jupiter. A scouting vessel of the Armada briefly revealed itself, testing Earth's response. Human sensors detected it, and fighters were dispatched to intercept. The encounter was brief, but terrifying. The alien vessel moved at speeds impossible for human ships, firing energy pulses that disabled sensors before weapons could even be aimed. The human pilots returned shaken, realizing that humanity's best weapons were ineffective. "Ilara," said Lieutenant Merrick, "we barely scratched them. If the main fleet attacks, we won't have a chance." Ilara stared at the stars, her mind racing. She knew one truth. Humanity was not yet defeated because humans had something the Armada did not expect: ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability. She vowed that Earth would not go down quietly. Weeks turned into months, and the alien Armada continued its silent approach. Earth had begun mobilizing, slowly and cautiously, but the planet's full potential had yet to be unleashed. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, building new weapons, shields, and reconnaissance drones. Civilians contributed to the effort, designing technology, computing simulations, and fortifying colonies. Humanity was learning the first lesson of the galaxy. Underestimation could be deadly, but unity and courage could overcome even the most fearsome odds. By the end of Part 1, the 2,000-vessel Armada had fully revealed itself beyond Saturn. Their silhouettes stretched across space like a shadow rising from the darkness. Earth was no longer the master of its solar system. It was a small planet facing a test it had ignored for too long. Commander Elara Vance stood on the bridge of her flagship, staring into the void where the alien ships glimmered faintly against the distant stars. Her mind was calm but resolute. "They are coming," she whispered, "and humanity will meet them, not with fear, but with everything we are." The first war of the stars was about to begin. The solar system was no longer safe. The 2,000-vessel Armada, once hidden in the darkness beyond Saturn, had fully revealed itself. Each ship was massive, with smooth metallic surfaces that reflected distant starlight. They moved in perfect formation, as if they were one living entity. The size and scale of the fleet left humanity in awe and in fear. On Earth, cities hummed with activity. The media finally reported on the fleet, though the scale of the threat was softened for public consumption. The truth was far more alarming. Governments scrambled to deploy fleets and defensive stations, but the Armada's approach was faster and more precise than any human calculations predicted. Commander Elara Vance watched from the bridge of the flagship Horizon Sentinel. She had been given command of Earth's reconnaissance division and had been preparing for this moment for months. Her face was calm, but inside, her mind raced with strategies, contingencies, and the knowledge that conventional weapons might not be enough. "Commander," said Lieutenant Marique, his fingers flying across the holographic control panel, "we've analyzed the fleet. Each vessel is protected by an energy shield. Our laser cannons, railguns, and missile systems barely made a dent during tests." Elara nodded, staring at the display. The alien ships were enormous, sleek and bristling with unknown energy weapons. "We expected that," she said quietly. "But size and shields alone don't make a fleet unbeatable. Humans are clever. We adapt." "We find the weak point." She knew that brute force would not win this battle. Humanity had survived countless disasters through ingenuity, cooperation, and unpredictability. Now, they would need every ounce of that spirit. First contact. The first direct encounter occurred near Mars. A small scouting squad of Terran fighters had been dispatched to assess the Armada. The pilots were tense, knowing this could be the first and last fight for their lives. The alien ships moved like shadows, shifting position with almost supernatural precision. Human sensors barely registered them before they reacted, moving to counter the Terran fighters. "Commander, we're outmatched," Merrick reported. "Their speed, it's impossible. Their weapons—" Before he could finish, a pulse of blue energy streaked past the fighters, disabling communications and guidance systems for several ships. Pilots struggled to regain control, and a few were forced to retreat. The fleet's coordination was flawless. Elara clenched her fists. "Pull back if necessary, but do not panic. Observe, record, and learn. That is our advantage. Humans can think in ways they cannot anticipate." Despite the danger, the skirmish revealed something critical. The alien ships, though technologically advanced, responded predictably to direct aggression. They attacked systematically, focusing on immediate threats, and ignored decoys. This insight gave Elara hope. "Prepare a second squadron," she ordered. "This time, we move unpredictably. Use every maneuver we've ever practiced. We are not just pilots. We are humans. That unpredictability is our weapon." Earth mobilizes back on Earth. The world finally began to understand the scale of the threat. Governments lifted old bureaucratic barriers and combined resources. Civilian engineers and scientists joined the military effort, designing experimental weapons, drones, and shield systems. Colonies on Mars and the moons of Jupiter were placed on high alert. Spaceports buzzed with activity as supply ships hurried to arm defensive outposts. Humanity was learning fast. The survival of their species now depended on cooperation, not pride. Alara's reconnaissance team worked around the clock. She personally oversaw the integration of new experimental systems onto her ships. One of the most promising innovations was a stealth drone capable of entering the alien fleet undetected to gather intelligence. Merrick approached her, concern etched on his face. "Commander, this fleet, it's unlike anything we've faced before. Thousands of vessels, all moving as one. Are we truly ready?" Alara placed a hand on his shoulder. "We may not be ready for their strength, Merrick, but humans are ready to fight. And more importantly, we will find a way to survive. That is what makes us dangerous." The first human strategy. The Terran fleet devised a daring plan. They would create a decoy fleet, smaller but fast and agile, to lure part of the alien armada away from the main solar system. While the aliens pursued, human strike teams would gather intelligence, map the enemy formations, and attempt to identify vulnerabilities. Alara led the first decoy mission. The fleet consisted of 30 small, heavily modified ships, each equipped with experimental shields and advanced maneuvering thrusters. The mission was risky. The alien vessels were far superior in firepower. As the decoy fleet entered the asteroid belt near Mars, the aliens responded immediately. Dozens of massive vessels emerged from stealth, their energy shields glowing as they moved to intercept. "Alara, we've been spotted," Merrick shouted. "Good," she said calmly. "That means they are predictable. Stick to the plan, move fast, Dodge, and record everything." The decoy fleet danced among the asteroids, weaving unpredictably while alien pulses fired past. Human pilots relied on split-second instincts, exploiting gravity wells and asteroid cover to evade attacks. Several ships were damaged, but remarkably, none were destroyed. The aliens were cautious, unwilling to risk direct engagement in the asteroid field. "Commander, they're adapting to our movements," Merrick said, sweat dripping from his brow. "Then we change again," Alara replied. "Humans don't follow patterns. We invent new ones." The decoy mission succeeded. A portion of the alien fleet pursued the small human squadron beyond the orbit of Jupiter, leaving the inner planets temporarily safer. Data collected by the human pilots provided invaluable information about alien shields, energy pulses, and fleet coordination. The human edge. Back on the flagship, Alara reviewed the incoming data. The aliens relied heavily on a collective intelligence, a neural network connecting all vessels. They reacted instantly to threats, coordinating attacks across thousands of ships. Yet the data revealed one weakness. If their network could be disrupted or confused, the fleet could be slowed or divided. Alara convened a meeting with Earth's top scientists. Together, they designed a bold plan. Small AI-driven ships would infiltrate the alien network, sending disruptive signals to confuse their coordination. The idea was dangerous. If the infiltration failed, the ships would be destroyed. But if it succeeded, humanity could level the playing field. "Humans have survived countless threats with intelligence and courage," Alara said to the team. "This is no different. We do not give up. We do not surrender. We adapt and overcome." The team worked tirelessly, building and programming the AI ships. Civilians volunteered to help, offering computing power, ideas, and support. Humanity's spirit, once divided by petty rivalries, now shone brighter than ever. A glimpse of fear. Despite the progress, fear was not absent. News from Mars reported that alien scouts had bypassed colonies, briefly scanning human installations. Panic gripped the population. People wondered if Earth could survive the looming threat. Alara walked among her crew, calming them. "Fear is natural," she said, her voice steady. But fear without action is useless. We channel it, we prepare, and we fight. That is how humans survive. Her words inspired the crew. Across the solar system, humans began to act with unity and courage. Spaceports operated non-stop, engineers refined weapons, and civilians trained as volunteers. Humanity's unpredictable spirit became their greatest weapon against the calculated, precise alien fleet. For the calm before the storm. For days, the alien armada remained on the outskirts of the solar system, observing, probing, and testing human defenses. The fleet's size was staggering. Thousands of vessels, each larger than Earth's largest space stations, floated in formation. Their energy shields glimmered faintly in the darkness, silent and ominous. Ilara studied them from the flagship. She knew that the next encounter would determine the fate of humanity. Yet, she did not despair. Humans had survived far worse odds. They had risen from primitive beginnings to reach the stars. They had built cities, colonies, and fleets capable of touching the heavens. And now, faced with the most powerful force they had ever encountered, humanity's ingenuity would be tested like never before. "Marek," she said, her eyes fixed on the distant armada. "They may be strong, but they are not invincible. We are humans. We adapt. We survive. And we will not fall without a fight." The young lieutenant nodded, his fear replaced with determination. "Yes, Commander. Humanity will fight." And so, as the alien armada hovered on the edge of the solar system, Earth prepared. Scientists, engineers, civilians, and soldiers worked together, united by a common purpose. The first human countermeasures were in place. The stage was set for the battle to come, a battle not just of firepower, but of courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable human spirit. The shadows of the Armada stretched across the solar system, yet humanity was ready to rise. The first spark of resistance had been lit, and the galaxy would soon witness the resilience of a species that refused to be conquered. The solar system was on high alert. Every planet, moon, and space station hummed with activity. Earth's fleet had grown rapidly in the weeks since the Armada appeared, thanks to a combination of rapid production, human ingenuity, and an unyielding determination to survive. Commander Ilara Vance moved among the fleets, inspecting ships, giving orders, and encouraging her crews. "This is the time to be human," she told her officers. "We are not invincible, but we are clever. We are fast, and we are unpredictable. That is how we survive." Her words resonated. Across the solar system, humans were preparing not only to defend themselves, but also to fight back, using creativity and courage as their weapons. The infiltration mission. Ilara's team had spent weeks analyzing the alien armada. The first skirmishes had revealed a critical weakness. The alien fleet relied on a neural network, a form of collective intelligence that linked all their ships. If this network could be disrupted, their coordination would collapse. A daring plan was devised. A small strike team, led personally by Ilara, would infiltrate a captured alien scout vessel. Their goal was to study the internal systems and attempt to introduce confusion into the neural network. It was dangerous. If they failed, they would be destroyed, and the fleet would be alerted to humanity's strategy. The mission began in the shadows of the asteroid belt. The team's ship, the Shadow Falcon, moved silently, powered by new stealth technology designed to avoid alien sensors. Ilara stood on the bridge, watching the massive armada through advanced scanning equipment. "Approaching the target," said Lieutenant Marek, his hand steady despite the tension. "All systems green. Cloaking is holding." "Good," Ilara replied. "Remember, our goal is intelligence, not combat. Observe, record, and return. Humanity's future depends on what we learn today." The Shadow Falcon approached the alien vessel with precision. Using grappling arms, the human team docked silently, entering a ship entirely unlike anything built by humans. The interior was sleek, metallic, and illuminated by faint energy lines that pulsed rhythmically. Alara's eyes scanned every panel, every interface. "This is remarkable," she whispered. "We must understand it completely." The team worked quickly, downloading data, mapping the ship's neural network connections, and preparing a small AI disruption device. Hours passed and tension grew. One mistake could trigger an alarm. Finally, the AI device was ready. Marek activated it, sending a series of signals designed to introduce chaos into the alien network. Instantly, subtle flickers appeared across the alien ship's systems. Alarms remained silent, but the neural network's synchronization began to waver. "It's working," Alara said quietly. "They won't notice yet, but we have begun to disrupt their coordination." The team returned to the Shadow Falcon and carefully undocked. As they moved away, distant energy pulses indicated that the alien fleet was beginning to respond to minor anomalies. The first step in humanity's counterattack had succeeded. Human ingenuity on display. Back in orbit around Mars, the Terran fleet used the intelligence gained from the infiltration mission. Engineers modified small fighter drones to exploit the alien network's brief moments of confusion. During the next skirmish, the drones darted between alien ships, firing pulses that triggered malfunctions in their shields. The effect was immediate. Alien vessels lost synchronization, shields flickered, and energy weapons misfired. For the first time, humanity's fleet inflicted real damage on the Armada. Alara watched the display from the bridge. "This is what humans do best," she said. "We find a way when all odds seem impossible. Adaptation is our greatest weapon." Across Earth, news of the skirmish spread, carefully controlled to avoid panic. People cheered, inspired by the courage of the Terran fleet. Scientists, engineers, and volunteers worked tirelessly, building more drones, upgrading shields, and training pilots for the next encounter. Humanity was learning to fight smarter, not just harder. A bold attack. Emboldened by their success, Alara proposed a bold plan, a targeted strike against a segment of the alien Armada. Using the asteroid belt for cover, a small fleet would ambush a portion of the Armada, exploiting the temporary disruption in their coordination. 30 human ships, led by Alara in the flagship Horizon Sentinel, moved with careful precision. Drones and fighter craft supported the main fleet, ready to attack and retreat in unpredictable patterns. As they emerged from behind the asteroids, the alien vessels noticed the human fleet. Energy shields flared, weapons charged, and the Armada responded with a disciplined attack, but the humans were ready. "Alara, they're advancing!" Marek shouted. "Hold formation," she commanded. "Use the asteroids, stay unpredictable, and follow the plan. Humanity survives by thinking differently." The battle was chaotic. Human ships dodged pulses, used gravity wells to maneuver, and unleashed waves of drones to disrupt alien systems. Several alien vessels were damaged, their shields momentarily failing. Alara led a daring maneuver. A small squadron veered behind enemy lines, targeting energy conduits, connecting multiple vessels in the network. The resulting overload caused minor explosions, further destabilizing the alien coordination. "Beautiful," Alara said. "They expected us to attack head-on, but we are humans. We attack where they cannot anticipate." By the end of the skirmish, the humans had withdrawn, leaving the aliens confused and disrupted. No major human ships were lost, and critical data had been gathered. For the first time, humanity had shown the Armada that Earth was not defenseless. Unity across humanity. The victories, small but meaningful, inspired a wave of unity across the solar system. Colonies on Mars, moons of Jupiter, and even mining stations in the outer planets began contributing to the defense effort. Engineers designed new weapons based on captured alien technology. Pilots trained in complex maneuvers, civilians volunteered as technicians, data analysts, and support staff. Ilara visited a new orbital shipyard where massive construction drones worked day and night. "How are the new ships coming along?" she asked the lead engineer. "Faster than expected," he replied. "We've integrated alien energy shield tech with our propulsion systems. These ships may not match the Armada individually, but together they are formidable." Ilara smiled. "Humans have always survived when we work together. That is our strength. Remember it." Everywhere she went, she saw the human spirit rising. Children on Earth painted murals of space battles. Scientists debated strategies late into the night. Pilots trained tirelessly, refining their instincts. Humanity was no longer just reacting. They were preparing to take the fight to the Armada. The first true battle looms. As preparations continued, intelligence reports indicated that the alien Armada had noticed the disruptions and infiltration. They were now organizing countermeasures, moving in formations designed to minimize the effects of human tactics. Ilara studied the reports carefully. "They adapt quickly," she said. "We must be faster, smarter, and more unpredictable. Humans win not by raw power, but by thinking differently. That is how we survive." She convened a council of fleet commanders. "Our next engagement will be the largest yet. We will use every lesson we've learned, every new technology, and every ounce of human ingenuity. The Armada may be powerful, but they cannot anticipate the creativity of the human mind." The council agreed. Drones were modified, ships were retrofitted with experimental shields, and pilots practiced daring maneuvers. The entire solar system was becoming a coordinated defense network, with Earth at its center. A spark of hope. One evening, as the twin suns of Mars set behind the horizon, Ilara stood on the observation deck of the Horizon Sentinel. The alien Armada glimmered in the distance, thousands of ships moving like shadows across the void. Lieutenant Marek joined her. "Commander, do you really think we can win?" Ilara turned to him, her eyes steady. "We may not be able to destroy them completely," she said, "but we can survive. And more importantly, we can make them respect us. Humans are not predictable. Humans do not surrender. That is why we fight. And that is why we endure." Marek nodded. "Then we fight." Ilara looked out at the stars. The coming battle would test every human skill, every ounce of courage, and every spark of ingenuity. But for the first time, she felt certain. Humanity was not merely reacting. They were rising. The alien Armada, vast and powerful, had underestimated one critical factor: the human spirit. That unpredictability, creativity, and relentless courage would soon become their greatest challenge. And as the fleets moved closer, humanity prepared for the confrontation that would decide the fate of their solar system. The war was far from over, but for the first time, hope shone like a beacon. Humanity was not just surviving, they were rising. The alien Armada had grown impatient. Their initial probes and skirmishes had been met with unexpected resistance, and the small, clever attacks from humanity had disrupted their perfect formations. The aliens had underestimated one thing: humans were unpredictable. They learned, adapted, and fought back in ways the Armada could not anticipate. Commander Ilara Vance stood on the bridge of the Horizon Sentinel, her eyes scanning the distant fleet. Thousands of alien ships stretched across space like a dark storm. She had spent months preparing for this moment, training crews, upgrading ships, and planning tactics that no alien intelligence could predict. "Commander," Lieutenant Marek said, pointing to the display, "the Armada is splitting into two groups. It looks like they're trying to encircle the inner planets." Ilara's mind worked rapidly. "Good," she said. "That means they are predictable again. We will use this against them. Prepare the fleet. This is our moment." The human counteroffensive. The Terran fleet had grown stronger. Dozens of newly built ships, inspired by alien technology but modified with human innovation, joined the battle line. Drones swarmed ahead, confusing sensors and testing shields. Pilots had practiced new maneuvers that used gravity wells, asteroid fields, and rapid decoy shifts. Ilara gave the order to advance. The fleet moved in tight formation, but unpredictably, zigzagging and spreading across multiple vectors. The alien Armada responded with deadly precision, firing energy pulses that disabled several human ships. Yet, the humans continued to advance. Their resilience, adaptability, and courage allowed them to absorb blows and retaliate in ways the aliens had not expected. In the heart of the ambush, the small AI ships developed during Part 3 moved like shadows among the alien vessels. They infiltrated the neural network, sending signals that disrupted synchronization. Alien ships misfired, shields flickered, and formations broke apart. The perfect harmony of the Armada was faltering. Ilara's voice was calm but commanding. "Marek, deploy the drones to their flanks. Use every tactic we've learned. Show them humans are not predictable." The drones darted between alien ships, triggering energy overloads and causing minor explosions that disoriented the enemy. Human pilots, trained for split-second decisions, took advantage of every moment of confusion. Ships that would have been destroyed in direct combat now survived and counterattacked. A daring strike. Ilara knew that victory would require bold action. She gathered a squadron of elite pilots and led a daring strike directly into the core of the alien formation. The target was a massive command vessel that coordinated the Armada's network. If they could disrupt it, the entire fleet would falter. "Remember," she said to the pilots, "this is not just about firepower. This is about courage, precision, and intelligence. We fight like humans." The squadron weaved through energy pulses, dodging alien fire while approaching the command vessel. Marek piloted the lead ship alongside Ilara, and together they deployed specialized drones to attack the neural network connections. Explosions rippled through the alien command vessel as the AI drones penetrated deeper. The alien network began to collapse in that section of the fleet. Energy shields failed, weapons went offline, and for the first time, humans were gaining a clear advantage. "Ilara," Marek shouted, "they're retreating. They don't know how to respond." "Keep pressure on them," she ordered. "Do not let them recover. Humans are relentless." Unity. Across the solar system. Meanwhile, on Earth, colonies, stations, and civilians were contributing in every possible way. Engineers modified ships, scientists created new algorithms to predict alien maneuvers, and civilians provided vital intelligence. Humans were no longer reacting. They were driving the conflict with creativity and courage. In the orbital command center above Earth, officials monitored the battle in real time. Every strike, every maneuver was coordinated across thousands of miles. Humans were showing the galaxy what adaptability, courage, and determination could achieve. The tide turns. The alien Armada, though vast, was confused and divided. Their ships moved without coordination, firing haphazardly and colliding with one another in rare cases. Humanity's bold strikes, the infiltration mission, and the innovative use of drones had given them an edge. Ilara guided her fleet with precision. "Push forward," she commanded. "Do not give them a chance to regroup. Every ship we save, every pilot who survives, strengthens our position." Human ships moved in formation, exploiting the weaknesses of the Armada. One by one, alien vessels were disabled, forced to retreat, or destroyed in calculated strikes. Despite the odds, humanity's ingenuity had turned the tide of the battle. A message from the Armada. As the battle raged, a strange phenomenon occurred. A massive alien vessel halted its retreat and opened a communication channel. Its message was clear, though alien. They wished to speak, not fight. Ilara authorized the connection. The alien vessel projected an image of light and energy, representing intelligence and consciousness. The voice, translated into basic human language by AI, resonated across the bridge. "Humans," it said, "we are not here to destroy. This was a test. Your species ignored the galactic summits. Your arrogance might have brought annihilation. Yet, you have shown courage, ingenuity, and resilience. We respect you." The bridge fell silent. Crew members exchanged amazed glances. For the first time, humanity was recognized by an advanced civilization, not as a primitive species, but as one worthy of respect. Ilara stepped forward, her voice firm. "We fight to protect our world. Humans are unpredictable, courageous, and resilient. If you wish peace, we accept your respect. But know this, humanity will never surrender." The alien intelligence considered her words. After a tense moment, it responded, "Your people are ready to join the galactic summits. We will withdraw and observe. Continue to grow, adapt, and protect your solar system. You have earned our respect." After the battle, the alien armada began to retreat, moving back into the darkness from which it had emerged. Humanity's fleets remained on high alert, knowing the future was uncertain, but celebrating the survival of Earth. Commander Ilara Vance addressed the fleet. "Today, we have shown the galaxy what humans can do. We did not win by superior power alone. We won because we used our minds, our courage, and our unity. Never forget that. This victory belongs to all of us, soldiers, scientists, engineers, and civilians alike." Across Earth, people cheered, cities lit up in celebration, spaceports buzzed with energy, and the entire species felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had survived the greatest threat it had ever faced: the new role of humanity. With the alien armada gone, Earth's leaders received formal invitations from the galactic summits. For the first time, humans would join the Interstellar Council. But the humans who stepped forward were not the same as before. They had learned lessons of courage, unity, and the importance of cooperation. Colonies on Mars, moons of Jupiter, and stations across the solar system continued to develop defenses, technology, and new ships. Humanity's fleets had proven themselves, not only in survival but in ingenuity. They were no longer just an isolated species. They were a force worthy of recognition in the galaxy. Ilara watched the stars from the observation deck of the Horizon Sentinel. The alien armada had vanished, but the lessons remained. Humans had survived against overwhelming odds, had shown their unpredictability, and had earned the respect of the galaxy. "Commander," Marek said softly, "we did it. Humanity survived." Ilara smiled. "Yes, Marek. And we will continue to rise. This is only the beginning. Humanity will not just survive, we will thrive. The stars are ours to explore, protect, and learn from. Remember this day, the day humanity proved itself to the galaxy." A glimpse of the future. In the weeks and months that followed, Earth rebuilt and strengthened its fleets. Humans established communication and trade with other civilizations in the galactic summits. The solar system became a hub of innovation, diplomacy, and defense. Humanity had changed. The species that had once ignored the galaxy now stood proud among it. They had faced a threat beyond imagination and had survived, not just through weapons, but through courage, intelligence, and the indomitable human spirit. And as Commander Ilara Vance looked out at the stars, she knew that the future held challenges far greater than any armada. But she also knew that humans were ready. Humans had survived the darkness, and now the galaxy would see the true strength of the human spirit. The war was over, but humanity's journey among the stars had only just begun.